Hello. It's been a little while since I made any video. Um, sort of um, yeah, not so I've not made one for a few months, I think. Um, I pointed out a few things that I said I was going to do or like to do and things like that about moving forward with the type of things that I seem to be talking about on these videos. Um, I Yeah, so my transformation that I'm still going through, um, it sometimes has you at odds, and um, and you need to sort of withdraw to find an understanding, of what it is exactly that is transpiring, and what effect um, it, it is having on you, or could have on you in the future, or has had on you in the past, which could also be relevant for the future. So I so I've had I've sort of been sabbatical, I suppose you could call it, but the people around me, um, I've been worried about me. Um, you know, um, I've given up trying to reassure um, people now. It seems fruitless, that does. I, as I sometimes say, irrespective of how I appear to people or how I am, how my day is, the next day I seem to still wake up and still breathing, so um, and the day before is of no relevance. Um, um, to a degree. So, yeah, there's all of that. Sounds a bit weird what I'm saying. To my ears, it sounds a bit screwed up. I I'd stopped everything. Really, over the last couple of years, I've just watched everything sort of deteriorate, really. And I suppose, my being bedbound. Oh, I've got bed sores. I thought they were spots. Man, I'm not sure when they appeared. Probably about 2 months ago, I would have thought they started as bed sores, and then started. Like I say, I thought they were spots, but they weren't going away um, until like a little blister type thing, and I was cleaning it, and it popped, and it's fucking hell, man. And then I've got these sores on my sides, but they're not sores. It's just like I can't lie on the side, like on my hip. The pressure of it. I think that's the beginning of more sores. I think, uh, you know. So that's something I've got to keep aware of. Um, yeah, I've got a lot to say, really. And I know, all, um, um, I know I've got a sense of how it's going to happen. you know, imparting what I've got to say. You know, but like I've been slow in my transformation and going through the things I've gone through, you know, you have to take your time. You know, you can't rush. So I'm going to take my time doing these things, but they're going to be more focused. I do believe. So yeah, I set up the shed again, and I've put the cactuses in. I'll give you a quick glimpse, and then so I'll put you above the light so you don't get blinded. Can you see? So I started. I put a few in, and then I've got a few aloe veras there. Well, I've got a couple at least in here. I think one there. I don't know where the others are. Oh, it's not blind. Can't remember. I might have not brought them in yet. They're agapanthus. They are. There's 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 of those. And I'm going to divide them shortly, but I've got a working area now. I've got all my storage for my tools and things. So going all right as far as you know, doing something you know, that's productive, I suppose is the word. But I'm sort of struggling with all of that, you know. You know, I find myself nowadays, you know, less excited about life and pretty much all of the aspects of it. Don't really hold much joy for me. I'm finding not that I'm unwilling to do these things, you know, at least try, but regardless, I'm still finding no real pleasure. I find I've got a purpose more than that. I don't know what. I suppose satisfaction in accomplishing purpose, really, and I think it's become a life's purpose. You know, I've never had one of those before, so, but it's ever present, this purpose, you know, in my mind. And it's the purpose is really is, you know, I've undergone quite a lot in the last couple of years, few years, in transforming, utterly transforming. You know, you know, I could say why me, you know, but I know why me. I do now, you know. I've been crying out most of my life. Why me? Why is this going on to me? Why, you know? And then I'd be told, you know, stop feeling sorry for yourself or something. You maker of your own world. It's not quite true as a child, but there you go. So you know, I've undergone a lot, and found a lot of benefits, if you like. Let's call them benefits. Inside, internally, as a functioning human. I feel like I'm, probably one of the richest men in the world, and I'm just leave it at that for a moment. But I do. So the question popped up pretty much in at the beginning of these transformations of mine. A few years ago now, the question cropped up. How do I give this to somebody else? How do I tell somebody about this that's going on? Because it's important. It's been a revelation to me in my life. Ability, internal ability, and internal understandings and knowledge. The things that are a foundation. They're a foundation in my life, and I fervently hope, if I was to think back in the past, even, wish that it had been introduced into my life as a child. These foundations, of self-knowledge and understanding, and but so there's that, and so how do I bring this to another person, to you? To bring security, a serenity and a peace and a sure it's just a knowing, it's the journey, so what I'm talking about really is a culmination of a journey called Know Thyself. And it is the first port of call, really, for a human being. Know thyself. I think these splits in ages. So you get a child or a baby and a child or whatever, and then you reach a maturity, 16 or something like that, 14, 16, 18. And then you go through what we call in this society, their working part of their life, 65, whatever else, and then they go into another age. We're using all these things wrong, in that first age and going into maturity, a person should be well on the way, if not most of the way through that journey of Know Thyself, so that they can function. It's not about whether they can contribute, because that's a foregone conclusion. There's no need to dictate to that person, what they should be doing. That would have already become clear in that journey that they would have taken up to the age of 14, 16, 18 or whatever it is. And as a society, we're beholden to do our best for the generation that's coming up behind us. And at the moment, nobody is. Everybody's talking about money and finance and whatever else, whatever crap is going on the TV and in government and in these other industries. You know, they're irrelevant. Absolutely irrelevant. You know, these people that are making decisions that are affecting people's lives, whether it's your or I's life, or whether it's the migrant or whoever else, you know, they're making decisions from a heightened emotional state. No fit state to be making decisions like this, you know, because they can't see with any kind of clarity, you know, and there's lots of torch papers or whatever it's called, you know. You get one person coming into the room and they might not even like for a totally unrelated reason, but they come together on a subject, and you know, off it, you know, know thyself. You know, it's not so much of a thing that you should be taught in school, because school's there to teach you about the production line. Yes sir, no sir. You know, so it's not so much about that journey. You know, that journey could be introduced in that environment. You know, and help, and you could have guides in there that could guide them through, and the parents and whoever else was involved in the child's life. You know, you'd probably find quite quickly that it would be the children running the school, you know, eager to go to school because they've got projects that they'd like to achieve. You know, it's letting go a bit of that control, isn't it? You know, and going on like that. So that's sort of my purpose, really, is what I would like to achieve, really. And in the next videos, you know, I'm going to be going through aspects of this wonderful life that we're so blessed to have. So you know, that'll be from corporeal, in the corporeal sense, and in the ethereal sense, and the crossing place between the two. You know, so that's all to come. That is, and I've got a full packet now, so I'm if you have any questions throughout, I won't be saying this very often. I'm not, but if you do, I'll say it at this point. Feel free to poke one up, and I'll do my best to answer. So okay, I'm going to leave it there for now, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.